Hello and welcome back to more Manufactoria 2022. We are definitely getting into some harder puzzles now, but I think with some clever thinking we should be able to get through it. So we are on CaddyBot, which the objective is to move all the blue inputs to the front and the red inputs to the back. My idea here is to go through it in several steps. I suppose there's a couple ways you could do this. So I had been thinking that you could just go until you see a red followed by a blue and swap their order, and eventually once you have no reds followed by blues, you would be done. But now I'm thinking that it would be faster to, if you see a red before any blues, just to throw it onto the back. Yeah, that will make the cycles a lot quicker, I think. So I'm gonna start with that approach. So let's see, we will need to start with a filter. If it starts with blue, we just keep going until we see a red. We then can go with that red. We need to see if we have any more blues at all in the after the first red, because if it ends in all reds, then we're fine. If there is at least one blue, then we just need to cycle through until we see the end of everything and get back to the beginning. And then we'll need to know whether or not we're at the end. So we'll have to use a green. And once you get the green, we can head back to the beginning. Okay, so if we have only blues, this will need to stop and let's see. Okay. So if we have only blues, well, okay, let's just do a test here. So my idea is the first red we see in every segment. If there's any blues after it, we move that red to the back, which means, now that I think of it, we didn't actually do that step. So let's test this. So, okay. So we have 2 blues and 3 reds. So first thing, mark the end of the line. We have seen 1 red, so we're going to want to add that onto the end. Assuming that there's at least a blue, which there is. So we've seen a red and we've seen a blue after it, so we know we need to add a red onto the end of the line. But at this point we just need to get to the end of the input and then get rid of the green so that we can actually add something onto the end. And at that point we can just start again. So that has moved us Let's move one red to the end. If we go through again, that moves a second blue to the end. If we go through again, that moves a third blue to the end. And at this point, we have no more blues following a red, so we end up finishing. And we will just need to add the red that we initially deleted and have that go to a finish. And also, I think if we have only blues, we'll need to put a finish here. So let's just confirm that. Yep, if there's only blues, we don't need to do anything with reds, and we can just have that be a finish. So, this, I think, should work. Success! The caddy was lightning fast. Every time I arrived at a new hole in the factory's indoor driving range, it handed me what I declared was the perfect club for the hole. My own performance with these clubs left something to be desired. Everyone's very reassuring, though. It reminded me, to err is human. Okay, cool. So this was, yeah, this was definitely the right approach, because my initial idea would have been like, if you had red, blue, 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 instead of initially like jumping it immediately to the back, it would have done this. It would have moved the red one spot over with each cycle until it eventually got to the end. So this was a much better idea. Obviously there's a lot of extra space in conveyor belts here, but I'm not worried about the challenges right now. I think I'm gonna end up going back and doing those at the end. So with that, we just have these two challenges down here. And this is another category 3 high complexity. And I'm wondering if this is gonna be category 4. So these might be the hardest ones on here. Let's find out. A message arrived in my inbox one day with no sender, an invitation to Lab 6E. When I arrived, I found a complete assembly line unlabeled and unexplained. It was a puzzle, and I was determined to solve it. Oh, this is new. Using the test mode, produce a robot with exactly red, blue, green on its tail. This is fun. This is new. This is, yeah. This is completely new from Manufactoria. Like from the original Flash game. They did not have anything like that. Okay, so what does this do? So it writes a yellow and then does a filter. So it does a series of filters. Until it gets up here. So yeah, so it's gonna write a yellow, and then it just depends what I've got on there. Like I could, if I did red, red, blue, blue, that would have a yellow. But this yellow starts. Okay, so I could have a green here because at the end this green goes through. Let me see. I just want to see what my options are here. Do I have any options? Like, can I modify things as it's running? Not that I can tell. Okay, so I'm gonna have it go through this way. So I think I just need it to follow these segments. Well, I mean, let's just try. So if we do red, red, blue, blue. Come through here. I think I'll maybe want it to go straight. So we'll say green. It comes through here, it writes a green. Comes down here. Ooh. So, oh. This yellow is at the start, and it's the thing I have to do at the end. So I need to figure out how to write a red, blue, and green after the yellow. Okay, so what are the order here? So, I mean, I could just get here and write a red, then a blue, then a green, have it come around, do a yellow here, and drop through. Okay, so just to show you what I'm thinking, if we follow this pattern, we have red, red, blue, blue, and then red, red, blue, blue. All right, so we run this test, it just goes through those filters, and at this point, it drops in the finish. But if I can figure out how to write a red, a blue, and a green at this point, then we'll be able to finish. So I think I can just add a red, blue, and green, because each of these just adds that symbol. And if I just allow this to run through to this point, then yeah, it should just move each. Red moves to the back, blue moves to the back, green moves to the back. It comes back through and then takes off the yellow. Nice! I'd pieced together how the assembly line worked. Clever, if a bit limited in the inputs it handled. I was no closer to the deeper mystery here, though. Who had built this, and why? Interesting, interesting. The challenge. So is this going to be like the invitation, but just harder? Another unsigned message, another mysterious assembly line, this one even larger than the last. Evan had no suggestions for who might be responsible, but I suspected that as soon as I wrapped my head around this thing, I'd be able to guess. Oh boy! This is big! Okay. Using the tape mode, produce a robot with exactly green yellow on its tape. Okay. I think the deal is you have to work backwards here. Okay. So I want to end with green yellow. So in order to get, when it gets here, it will add yellow on the end. So I want it to have green there. So to have green here, it just read a yellow. So it would be yellow green. If it's yellow green here, that's fine. This would need to be green yellow green. This has green on the end. So it would need to be green yellow at this point. This could be green green yellow. Green green yellow. It could come from either of these. So maybe it's here, red green green yellow. Blue red green green yellow. No, that's the same loop. So if this is green, green, yellow. Oh, blue, green, green, yellow. So maybe I should just try to figure out. No, I really do think working backwards here is going to be the easiest thing. Okay. So it needs to end with green, yellow. This needs to be green before this, so this needs to be yellow, green. This needs to be yellow, green. This needs to be green, yellow, green. Are there any green raiders at all over here? Yes. Okay, so if it's green, yellow, green here. Okay, so this right's a yellow that needs to get stripped off. Maybe it will be easier just to do it this way. Okay, let's see what this does. Alright, so that's a yellow, yellow. Right, this replaces a red. This strips a blue. This strips a blue. So if it starts with a blue, it's going to strip it. Then if there's a red and a red, what does this first component do? Because it's going to write a green. Yeah, let's try to figure out the components actually. Okay, so this first component, blue, red, cycles these. Nope, so I'm gonna need a green somewhere. So the input needs a green. So it cycles through until it gets to the green. So this just strips off an even number of reds and blues until you have, what, only green? But you could just start with a green. This is a red herring. This whole section is a red herring. You can just start with green and have whatever input you want. Because yeah, it goes through here and then you can never end up back in this component. And there's no yellow raiders here. That whole section's a red herring. Okay. Similarly, yeah, I can just do green, yellow, and then whatever I want. I can literally just follow this path. The rest of it is all just designed to trip you up. Okay, so I want to end with green, yellow. I want it to be yellow, green at this point. Yellow, green will work through here. This needs to be green, yellow, green. This needs to be yellow, green, yellow, green. No, I need something to strip a yellow. Yeah, okay, so once I write this yellow, is that the only yellow raider on this whole thing? Aside from this? This is green, yellow, this is yellow, green. Green, yellow, green. So that's my question. If we're ending with yellow here, and we need to get to green, yellow. I mean, this will... Yeah, okay, this cycles through reds and blues. And this deletes a red and a blue. This deletes a red and a blue. Drops it on fire. This deletes a red and a blue. The main confusing part here is I think we need to make use of this green loop, which will move a green to the end. So as long as we have a green and a yellow here, that's fine. So we'll need 2 greens and a yellow before it gets here. So this consumes and writes a yellow. So this will need to be a yellow followed by 2 greens. So if I just do green, yellow, green, green here, will that work? Let's test this. So we have 2 greens and a yellow, which is what I thought was correct. This takes it to a green and a yellow. This moves the green to the back. And then it just moves the yellow to the back. Okay. Cool, I guess. Evan's impatient as I worked through the problem, and its satisfaction as I finished were dead giveaways. My mystery had been standing next to me the whole time, my own creation, attempting to trick and surpass me. I couldn't be more proud. Interesting. Yeah, like, all the red and blue stuff here are just red herrings. This... It's just, if you follow the green and yellow path, you just go down and around and finish. Okay. I mean, that's... I could see this getting complicated. Right, like, that was very simple, but it... once you knew the answer, but figuring it out was certainly trickier. Alright, well, let's see what this next section is. Finance tech. Oh, there's a lot fewer puzzles on this screen. For years, Marcus had been pushing us to sell robots for banks and investment firms. Now that he was Senior VP of Sales, I felt obliged to finally take his advice. And he did have a point. As he said, what could make more money than money? It's true. Takes money to make money a lot of the time. This is Morse code, I think. I need to look up what that means because I cannot read Morse code. Let's see. Morse code. So we have dot dash dot dot. Is L. And then dash dot dot is D. LD. Dot dash dot dot. Dash dot. That doesn't mean anything to me. Is it like upside down? It'd be dot dot dash U dot dot dash dot UF. No, that wouldn't mean anything to me either. That seems like an Easter egg, but I don't know what it means. Okay, so Audi. Okay, well, on to the next one. I noticed that cash register attenders were frequently surly, no doubt to the repetitive and soul-crushing nature of their work. For their own happiness, Marcus suggested we could create a robotic replacement, far more sophisticated and flexible than a crude self-service machine, but with a work ethic that would never falter. Yeah, this game is definitely a parody of like out-of-touch engineers. In the, oh, for their own happiness, we'll take their job from them. Oh, what? These are new. But are the inputs still just red and blue? Let me see. I want to see what all the inputs are. No. Right. Red, blue, green, yellow. No, I don't have an input. What? Are we... We have equations, apparently, in the future. Okay, right now we just have 10s and 15. So... Oh, subtract 15 cents. It's not just a red and a blue. It could be 3 blues. Okay. This is getting interesting. Because we might want to subtract a red or a blue. Like if we have 2 reds, we'll need to end with a blue, right? Like if... Yes. Okay. Can I just subtract 5 from the first 3 things I see? So if I do a red, write a blue, and otherwise just do a zip. And that will subtract 5 cents. This will subtract another 5. This will subtract another 5. And oh, and we don't need this part. Oh, did I? Yeah, I put these facing the wrong way. And this needs to go here. Success! Cool! Several of the big supermarkets had already begun adopting cashier robots en masse, but not trusting them fully had kept on a few human employees to monitor the robot ones, and to stand them back up after disgruntled customers tipped them over. Clearly, we need to build robots to replace those employees next. Who monitors the robot supervisors, though? It's robots all the way down. Yeah, sometimes the simplest solution is just, you know, the easiest one too. Like, this just subtracts 5 cents each time in order to subtract 15 cents. I'm sure for more complicated problems, you need to do something cleverer, but this works. So we will address those harder problems when we get there. but this is definitely a new wrinkle. I'm pleased to see that Manufactoria 2022 is moving beyond the original Flash game. Like the UI and the imagery and everything is clearly better than the original game, but it was feeling a little bit repetitive, and this is definitely a breath of fresh air in this game, and I'm glad to see that they've really moved beyond just a more polished version of the first game they made. Okay, so that's everything for today for this episode. I'm excited to see what happens next after this. We've got several sections, I think, to go after this one with the red and blues. Seems like we're going to be doing math, and yeah, this will get real tricky real fast, I think. I'm excited. All right, bye everyone.